Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm a bit wrapped up because it is chilly again here hi, Jessica. Good morning. It's chilly here in Saranda. It was a beautiful day yesterday. It was sunny and warm. I was out on the balcony for most of the day. And now, actually, it started out like that today, but after some spraying, we have throughout the day, bigger and bigger clouds have formed, and the cold came in with it. Welcome to today's Peace Talks. It is titled De-Lusion, which is a message that came into me earlier today that I'm excited to share. It makes sense to me. And I have been spending time practicing the delusion. So before I get into that, as always, I will request if you are here and would love to give some energy to the channel, if you would just hit the like button and of course share this. And an even bigger request is if you do feel spiritually fed and kind of feel sustained spiritually and feel filled up after these peace talks, please don't hesitate to consider donating to the platform, to myself, for offering these in service to you. I tried to bring some spiritual food that will help entice your and grow your sustenance of peace. And if you are feeling more peaceful after these peace talks, please do consider donating to the platform. I would so appreciate it. And for those who do, who have donated in the past, thank you. You know, I always send you a personal message, and you know how much it means to me. So let's get into the message. I am going to read it, but first I want to define some of the terms that I'm going to use, because I'm going to use some terms that we may have definitions for in the inverted matrix in our programming of what these words have always meant. And we are going to give them a different perspective. We're going to look at them from a higher perspective. So when I read the message, remember, it comes in through the supernal channel, through my team of guides, and they are using these terms on a higher level of perspective, a higher level of intelligence. So I want to first kind of look at the terminology, and then I want to so that we are all on the same page when I read the message. Okay. So the word lusion. Okay. The word lusion. According to the Urban Dictionary, lusion is the midpoint between illusion and delusion. That is the most clear representation of our reality on Earth. Okay, so lusion, how I see the word lusion, is the direct point of truth, the direct point of our spiritual truth. Okay, so illusion is an erroneous perception of reality, an erroneous concept of belief and truth. So as we have always heard in the spiritual world, is this reality that we see is an illusion. The inverted matrix has given us an illusion of what reality is. It's given us a distorted perception of truth that we have been programmed to believe is truth. So we have become very identified to this physical reality, forgetting, deliberately being guided to forget the spiritual reality of our existence. And that is that we are spiritual beings first, that filters down into this physical inverted, into this physical projection of reality. But because we have been in the illusion of distorted truth, we are now coming up and ascending into higher consciousness, into higher truth, so that we can ground down into our own illusion. Now, I also want to bring the word or perspective to delusion. So the definition of delusion is the act or process of deluding, okay? The state of being deluded, a false belief or opinion. But here's where the message for today, which is called delusion, is coming from a higher perspective. Okay. Sorry, I keep saying okay. But we have to, as I read this message to you, the word delusion, as I have received it, is more about deluding the human mind from believing the illusion of any false programming, any false beliefs that are still remaining in our subconscious mind. Okay. So the delusion that we're going to be speaking about in this message is all about deluding the mind from what it thinks is the truth. And in the image of the that I used for this peace talks was a guy standing in front of a wall that says, "I am truth." So the illusion that we're talking about, the illusion that we're talking about today is the where we stand in this physical reality. We and our ascended reality is standing in the illusion of our own truth. I am is the I am presence, the higher self, the master, the ascended master of our own reality. And we only project that reality of truth when we ascend out of the illusion and into the direct truth of what our higher purpose is, how we bring our unique expression of reality into projected reality. And we get there, the process of getting there, what we're talking about today, is through delusion. Okay, so delusion is the deconstruction of the illusion that remains in our human mind, the programmed mind. And the mind, I will remind you, as a hypnotherapist, I've become very intimate with how the mind works and how subtle and yet how powerful it is, because the mind does not know reality from what it thinks. When it takes in information, it takes it in as fact, which is how it's been so easily programmed in the distorted illusion of truth that we have been raised in, that we have been living in, that and these thoughts and beliefs that we have taken on of limitation and restriction and lack, overwhelm, all of the fear-based lower programs, lower intelligences that we have been taught are part of the truth of reality. So we have to now transcend that in the best possible way by diluting the mind into another reality and feeding the mind with another reality. Okay, so that's kind of the I want to say precept, but I don't think that's the right word. That's kind of the introduction into the message I'm going to read to you. Okay. Let me take a sip of my water. And here we go. Here's what came through. So I'm also going to use the word lack in here. And when you hear this, I want you to bring to mind, or the word lack is going to refer to the part of your life or parts of your life that you might feel are lacking, whether it's in job satisfaction or having work that you love, whether it's in relationships or finding love, if you feel like you're lacking in that, financially, in health in some way. So this is what this is pertaining to. So when you hear the word lack, it's pointing to that false belief, the illusion of what you don't have in your world. And by now, because you're in resonance with these messages, by now you should start to be receiving. You most likely have a pretty good ideas or pretty good insights into the higher reality that you are creating. You'll start to know, you'll have the vision of what this ascended new earth world life looks like for you, this reality that you're creating, that you're moving into, that is the vision that you have for yourself. So this illusion of lack in some way will be replaced really by the vision. Okay, so just keep all of that in mind. I'm going to bring it all together here with the message, and then we'll wrap it up and tie it all together in a nice little bow. So right now you're like, what is she talking about? But I wanted to just give you a couple of pointers so that you can hear this message and start to translate the message in a higher intelligence of word or perception from the words that you might then your mind still may be attached to the illusion of what these words and these meanings have previously meant to you. Okay, so dear one, we feel your need for movement for the culmination of all of your work and all of your visions. We must share with you that all you require for this is already available to you. You believe you lack resources or the way, therefore you do, the way to your vision. You believe you are being held back in some way, therefore you are. Your beliefs are being shown to you in projected reality. You have already been liberated. You must begin to see that now. You see it by believing and knowing that first. If only you would believe that in a moment's time of belief, it would all be shown to you. You must turn away from all you believed in this illusory world, in this moment that makes you believe you see lack. We cannot communicate this enough. Turn around. Face the true north of your consciousness. The evolution of your physical reality is within you. The remembrance of it is one thought away. You already believe and know your consciousness has expanded. You know that. You see everything already in this sense. The teacher, the master of your higher self, is ready to be exposed in your reality. It is exposed and illuminated once you leave behind all that you currently believe is holding you back. The master knows all. It knows the direct pathway to your ascended world. Loving compassion starts with allowing the master to freely come forth, but your mind stands in the way. The clarion call has already been made. The troops have been sent in and stand in direct alignment to where you are now. They are right there at your beck and call. Your beliefs of what you need for your journey forward stand in the way. The judgments you have towards your physical reality muddy the projection of your higher consciousness. This is where the incognito mode is activated. We talked about that on the last Peace Talks. You must hide / drop all thoughts pertaining to your current reality. You must live in the delusion of what you see in your mind's eye to delete the illusion of your human mind. I'm going to come back to this. I'm just going to read it first. I'm going to read that one more time. You must live in the delusion of what you see in your mind's eye to delete the illusion of what your human mind sees. You will be greatly surprised how quickly the delusional process of being in your visions will materialize once you spend more time there than in the illusion of what has been. What has been is no more. What is to be is now here. We are no longer keeping you hidden. The illusion is, which is why incognito mode to the illusion is required at this time. It all sounds counterintuitive to what you have been taught kind of in the spiritual world, that delusion is always unhealthy, that being unseen is caused by feelings and belief of unworthiness. That was at one point, we did keep ourselves hidden by feeling unworthy, but now this is I'm getting there, but now this is a higher expression of being unseen. This is when you learn the discernment of choice, choosing to be delusional and unseen can be one of the biggest assets in materializing reality. Deluding oneself to only think, act, and be the vision within. Hiding oneself from the old, darker delusions by going incognito to them and seeing only that which stands before you in the vision of your mind's eye. This is the master's view. It's the vision for you to believe in, and soon the human mind grasps it as reality. Once it grasps it, it looks for evidence of that reality. Then you feel that reality materializing, and you magnetize the effects caused by the shift in what you are looking to see. This is a subtle practice, yet essential in creating a turn of events so profound that when you experience them, nothing will stop you from living in the delusion of your greatest visions, insights, and dreams. Okay, so let's kind of break it down a little bit, because this is pretty deep if we spend a little bit of time with it. So it feels as though sometimes it's taking, this could be my belief, but I think there's a common collective belief in this, that it's taking longer than we want to. We've expanded our consciousness, we've purged densities, we've been on this healing journey. When do we start to see this ascended higher expression of life start to be revealed? So that right there is, whether, whatever aspect of life we're talking about for you uniquely, there is that energy of lack in there. We're not seeing what the higher consciousness that we feel yet. It's not being projected in our reality. So there's a lack of some sort. So that's what this, like, the higher umbrella of this message is. And all we now, like, say, all we have to do, and I realize this is harder. There's another belief. This is where our work is turning to. So up until now, our work has really been noticing the darker, denser energies that are within us, as these high vibrational energies have ramped up over this last year. Especially, it has brought to the surface a lot of things to be cleared, and you might still be in that process. Many people are. And as we start to come out of that and we start to find more peace, now we have to use these influxes of energy in a different way to magnetize the projection of the higher consciousness. So there's this space that we've never been in, the space of creation that we've never consciously been in. And this is how we're being trained here. We're being helped to in the creation process. And so what this message is about. So we've heard the whole idea of manifestation, and you got to think what you believe and you feel it. Well, this is going into like the next realms of that. This is where we become the masters of projecting, materializing, manifesting those visions. And as we have cleared more and more of the densities within, and as you continue to clear, you might, again, there's all different experience levels that are tuning in here. But as you get to pretty cleared out, then the visions start coming. These visions are really remembrances, the remembrances of who you are. They are your higher self sending you in pictures and or maybe senses, maybe sounds, however you get your messages, however you receive your messages. I do get visions. I hear it's clairaudience, clairsentience. I feel like I've got all of them. So like the more our supernal channel gets cleared out of all densities and distortions, we start to get clearer and clearer visions, messages. And these messages are sent from not from, are sent from our higher self. So this kind of gives it the um maybe gives like the perception that things are coming from outside of us. I just do that to give us an idea of like the supernal channel, but really the supernal channel is coming from here. So our higher self is sending us blips, kind of like teasers, like a trailer of what is waiting for us, this higher reality. And what is waiting for us is the work that we are here to do, and be in, the relationships that are waiting for us to be in, the wealth, the abundance, the health that is just right at our fingertips to be in. And now what we're being led to is how to grasp onto those and pull them into our third eye to be projected out into our reality. And that is by first deluding the mind. We have to delude the mind to believe that is already reality. And we do that by living in the space of these visions, of being in them as much as we can through meditation. When you're taking your showers, just be daydreaming, deluding the mind so that it overcomes the illusion. So the delusion, okay, again, from a higher perspective, we are deluding the mind. And there's a word I want, and not overpowering it, but that is partially it. There's like a computer term I want to overriding. Thank you. We want the delusion, being in the delusion of the remembrances of the visions is overriding the programming of the human illusion of how life has always been. Because the human mind is already programmed based on past experiences, based on past energies. So it has already stored up all this stuff. And throughout our cleansing and clearing, we have been reprogramming the human mind, but still, it is still filled with remembrances of the illusion of experiences that we've already been through. So we need to override it. And what it is always done up until this point, pretty much, is when we've gotten ideas, we've gotten insights, it has pulled from previous experiences and said, "Oh, you're not worthy of that. No one has ever done that in your family. You're not smart enough. You don't have the degree." So it was programmed in that way. So that is the reality that we see then, because we project the reality in which the mind can conceive. So if it's still pulling from old programming and old experiences, how do we override that? By diluting it and making it believe that there is a new reality. It doesn't know. It doesn't know what is reality and what's not. So we've been taught that delusional reality is unhealthy, but this is a higher intelligence of delusion because we are diluting it with remembrances from who we already are in a higher ascended reality. So the master of that reality is our higher self. So our higher self is dripping little nuggets, little trail, like a trailer of a movie, You're getting bits and pieces of it. And you'll know what these bits and pieces come in because you're like, "Oh my God, I love that." I have been getting bombarded for the last, I don't know how many months of projections from my higher self of where I'm ascending into. And what has the whole purpose of this message is what's kept that from my actual reality is the illusion in my mind that it's going to take time to get there, or this is the logical way to get there, and or oh, I don't have all the resources, or I don't have the time, like all the illusions. So what we're being asked to do now is delude the mind, but we're not deluding it in mistruths about ourselves, of things that aren't possible. We are deluding it with the possibilities or the truths of these visions that we're getting, these insights, these clues. So the more time you spend in those delusional, again, please hear it for how I like the word delusion is going to have its own effects on your mind, because we've been programmed as well that delusion is a bad thing, it's unhealthy. But we are reframing that. We are transmuting that definition to deluding the mind of illusion with deluding the mind of our truth of who we are now, because our consciousness is expanded. Therefore, we have gone into other dimensions, other dimensional realities where we exist in a more expanded way, and those dimensional realities are starting to be pulled into our conscious awareness. And how that's being pulled in is through these ideas, these insights, these new understandings, these new truths about who we are and what we want, and what we will no longer take, like what we will no longer participate in. But what we have to be deluding the mind is staying in remember we talked about monkey mind versus, I forget what the other name of it was. Wasn't the monkey mind versus the, like, let's call it the delusional mind, or the ascended mind. Call it that. The ascended mind needs to just be churning on the vision, because once it churns long enough, it starts to then change the belief patterns. It starts to change the thought patterns of the human mind. And that's how we reprogram the human mind to be completely in alignment with the energy, with the visions. And once the human mind is on board with all of this, then it starts to then pull in, it looks for evidence of these visions. Oh, where is that? That's out here somewhere. And that's how we then start to project and pull in the way, the how, the opportunities, the people, and the resources that start to then build the vision into physical reality, so that we are now projecting and seeing and feeling and touching the physical reality of our visions. Let me just make sure there's nothing else I think I got it. I feel pretty complete with that. Yeah, the visions that we're getting is the master's view, the ascended master of us. The ascended consciousness of us is the view that we will see in our mind's eye, that we might be journaling out. I don't know what your way of receiving this is. I know mine is through visions. I journal them. I expand them. And I will tell you, I love my shower time. My shower time, I'll get all the work done and wash, and then I will stand there in that hot water, and I will just close my eyes, and I will just be with the visions. I will feel them. I will be projecting them, and I stay there until, like, I am pretty much spent after being in the shower. This is also an amazing practice to do. I just did it today. I talked about last week with the practices from the Emerald Tablets. It's the calibrating the compass episode, where you lay eastward. Feel the solar plexus start to feel this, generate energy in the solar plexus. Bring your conscious awareness to the solar plexus until you feel it expand, and then you shoot out that energy to the North Pole and the South Pole. Then you pull that energy up to your heart, and you start to feel the vision. You start to feel the remembrances, the part of your, the vision that you have for your new earth, for your ascended expression of life. Feel that expand, then pull it up to your third eye and see it there. And with all of that energy, that is activating the Merkaba of energy that then activates your and magnetizes your energy. And doing that during the high influxes, which is pretty much always at this point, that is also activating it. And not only that, it's also the longer you can stay in that vision, in that delusion, it's diluting the human mind of all of the illusion of what it thinks the truth of reality is. It's completely reprogramming it. So that is our practice. That is the message for today, to be in the practice as constantly as we can throughout our day, to be diluting the human mind. So here's another thing. I'll just share another practice that I did. I sat out on the balcony today before it got chillier. It was still kind of sunny out. And I closed my eyes and I heard my voice. I used my voice and I was like telling the story of how this vision comes into play, because I'm close enough to it now that I can almost see how I get there, if that makes sense. So, and I don't want to say like get there, but how it manifests. It's now becoming very logical with how all of this comes together for me. It's that close. And that's why I'm like, so close to making a connection. So I sat. And again, when we speak, our words are power, our words are manifestation. The mind has heard our words and it takes it as reality. So I spoke the story out to the universe, to the sun, actually. I was like, here's how it goes, sun. And I heard myself telling the story, which means my mind doesn't know that it's not like real. It's like it's just a willing participant listening to the story, taking it in as an experience. And as I'm telling the story, I'm feeling it and I'm laughing and then what happened is blah 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 blah. So I am doing this practice. I've known this, I've been doing this, and yet when the message came through today, it was very clear that there was still static in my daily practices, and I knew exactly what it was because I've gotten myself into the higher intelligence of the vision and can so easily be taken down by my mind. It's like, yeah, but you need this, and yeah, you don't have that. So there's still been some static. So the fact that this was the message that came through today was just another reminder of here's what you need to pay attention to, because you're still getting in your own way. Even though you know all of this, you're still getting in your own way. So throughout my day, when I could feel myself coming down in vibration, I would go back to the story and I'd start to say it. I was doing dishes and, I was like back in, real life doing dishes. And, all of a sudden, like I could feel myself coming back down. And then as I did dishes, I was like, oh, and I started to hear my voice. Remember, our words are magic. Abracadabra, my words make it so. So the more that we can be in the conversation and hear our voices, use our hearts, use our mental faculties, right? Hear our words. The more that we can involve all of our senses in being in and hearing the reality of these visions, the mind then is like, oh, everybody's involved. Me too. Where are we going? What are we doing? Until it just is. It's no longer in an illusion programming. It is in the truth of the programming, a truthful programming. and we get it to be aligned with our truth, aligned with the I am presence of who we are, the ascended master of who we are, by diluting it for a minute. And what I also took very clearly out of this is where it says, if you only knew how quickly things will shift once the mind it takes one moment for the mind to get to one little bar. Here's what I mean by that. I'm seeing, like, like when you update your computer, you watch like the bar go boop, 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 boop. There comes that final bar. Sometimes it's the one that's like the longest to watch. You're like, come on. It's like but it's just one little boop that completes the update. And that's what they're talking about. It takes one moment of doing this updating by diluting the mind, by thinking it's already in the vision, till it finally gets to one moment where it's done. The update is done. So we are here to be in this next couple of days until the next peace talks, so we get our next mission, or our next message. The crap, what was I going to say? There was a word that came up there that I liked that didn't get out. But until the next peace talks, our work is to be in the process of diluting the mind of any lasting illusion of previous experiences, previous programming from that inverted matrix. Okay. So let's just put our conscious awareness on that for the next few days. Live in the vision, speak it, feel it, touch it, all of the things. Just be with it. Lay eastward to this practice, because I do believe something is shifting, and it just takes that one moment for it all to be fully updated. And y'all, I do believe, the loving compassion piece. So the loving compassion we can show ourselves, because loving compassion is now the theme that we're in for this month, through December 25th. So this theme, loving compassion, how we're going to show loving compassion is to be in the delusion of our vision and overriding the human mind until it is in that faithful servant mode. Okay. So let's see. I love your talks. Thanks, Sandy. I appreciate it. Liza, aloha. She's in the shadow of that volcano that's erupting. She's getting all kinds of energy. I got a text from Liza today. It said the energy's crazy. It's snowing and it's erupting. So hang on tight, lady, because you're getting some energy there. Thank you all, Jessica. I will have to watch this again to fully integrate. I understand, and yet my brain is like, yeah. So the brain. So here's like, this is perfect, Jessica. This is a perfect comment. The brain really is is not programmed, but it reacts. It does what the mind tells it to do, right? So if the mind thinks, the body's unhealthy, then the brain sends messages to the body to be unhealthy. If the mind believes the brain is healthy and expansive, and or the body is, or the consciousness is expansive and the body's healthy, the brain then functions in a healthier way. So the brain, so this is good, because if your brain is like, pew, that means your mind is like, pew. So your mind is actually expanding into this message. And don't forget, there's something in you that meaning your higher self, your ascended master, understands all of this. So it is okay. I fail to say this very often, but it's okay if there's something in here that you don't fully understand, that you don't fully grasp. You are here present. Your I am presence is present. So if there's a message that your brain and your mind can't quite catch up to, the I am presence is activated. It already knows it. So it's already activated. It's a seed that's been planted. It's been kind of, burst open. So everything, your I am presence will take it and run with it. it'll say, yes, finally, been waiting for that to, for that message to be exposed, to be lit up. So that data is already erupting out of your DNA, out of, your I am presence is now active in it. So your brain and your brain and your mind may not be fully comprehending it, but your I am presence is comprehending it perfectly because it already knows it. So yes, you can go back. I like to go back to things too, because to get my brain caught up and my mind and my brain. So it's good if you're not quite understanding, it's okay. I love it. Hello, everyone. I do the same in the shower, rinse with cold water. I know cold water. Me. We did these plunges when we were in Ukraine. This is like a sidebar note, but the cold water. We were there in the winter. When we first got there, it was in September, but it was cold at night there. And the place that we originally went to, that's another whole story I haven't told really. But when we first got there, we stayed with this family that we met in Mexico, and we were there for 2 weeks. And they had a sauna, so we would go into the sauna, and then they had a mountain stream that came through their property, and they built this kind of dam to make a pool, and so like right near the sauna. So we'd go into the sauna and then go get in this cold stream, and we'd do a deep water plunge. Bud was like, he was like a Superman, man powered. Like he'd go in and he could sit there for like 5 minutes. I could go in 30 seconds with my record. It was so cold. But the whole like cold water plunging thing is so not me, but I know it's super healthy. So thanks for saying that. I think I need to do the cold water rinse at the end, but I haven't been doing that. But I do, like, I have sermons like in the shower. Like the universe gets a sermon of what my life looks like, what it feels like. I mean, I literally hear my voice as much as I can. Sometimes I'm in the bathroom, and sometimes I kind of whisper it because, like, if Bud's here, he's obviously not here, but he'll be like, "Babe, you doing one of your sermons?" I'm like, yeah, because hear me whispering in there. But it's me just voicing what I want to see, what I want to feel, what I already feel, what I already see, what I already know is my higher self showing me, and I just voice it out. So it's funny because he knows when I'm in that bathroom, and I'm always in there a long time. He knows I'm just doing my work, and my work is hearing it out, hearing me speak it out. But now that he's not here, I do it all through here. And I mean, I'll walk through the house and be like, oh, this is who I am. This is what I do. And I speak it out. It's hilarious. And but now it feels very normal. I'm finding words to explain and to describe myself in a completely different way than I ever have, than my mind would ever allow me to believe. But when I hear it now, I can feel the belief in this higher version of me that I speak of, um, becoming more real, and it's not resisted as much by the mind. So I know this message today means we're close. We're close to making that contact where the spiritual version of ourselves meets the physical version, which is why this message came through, because the only static is those last few resisting beliefs that are still in our minds. And that's what we're being asked to cleanse, to wipe away, to scrub from our minds. And we do that by living as much as we can in the vision, because the vision is not something we have made up. The vision is who we are meant to be, who we are like needing to be at this point in this ascension process. So we are being called forth. We are being called forth to ascend and expand out in the biggest of ways. And we just have to scrub a little bit more of the human mind that's causing distortions, that's causing the pause or the delay in us projecting this reality in physical reality. I am the truth. You are the truth. That is our illusion. What we are seeing is the illusion, and we're letting go. We're turning our backs to the illusion, and we're calling in the vision, so that we can delude the mind to believe that it's already done, because it is. We know that. The I am presence knows it's already done. The mind just doesn't yet. So we just need to delude the mind to believe it's already done. And then it'll say, oh, it's already done. The update is complete. Yes, it is. Where now I'm looking for evidence. So that is our work for the next couple of days until the next peace talk. So just be in it, ladies and gentlemen, with me. Be in this process. So much love to you. I am grateful to do these peace talks, because it forces me some days to sit down and be with my supernal channel and to learn something. And I learned something today. So thank you for helping me learn and expand and to grow into my higher self. So love to you all. Mwah. Take care. Oops.